Welcome to SLN TV News English. My name is Yasmin Saeed and I'm here to update you with the daily news. These are the stories making headlines. Minister of Foreign Affairs urges members of diaspora community to take part in demonstration to recognise Somaliland. Minister of Finance denies claims made in local media. North Korea at battle-ready status, declaring state of war with the South. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Abdullahi Umar, urges members of diaspora community to take part in a demonstration scheduled to take place in Belgium. The reason for the demonstration is to recognise Somaliland and raise awareness on Somaliland as an independent country.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Abdullahi Umar, provided a special interview to Somaliland National Television regarding the upcoming demonstrations that will take place in front of the European Union in Brussels, Belgium, due to take place on the 14th of April 2012. On this subject, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, "Firstly, I'd like to thank the effort of the Somaliland diaspora, which is always appreciated, and we'd like to encourage support for the demonstrations in front of the European Parliament to get international recognition for Somaliland. The message we'd like to propagate is a free and fair demonstration to get the message of Somaliland's quest for independence in a nationalistic manner, so that they can become representatives of their nation of origin." The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Abdullahi Umar, for the first time publicly discussed the issue of an agreement reached with an American company regarding Somaliland's quest for international recognition. He said, "We as the Somaliland government work with foreign agencies regarding the Somaliland cause and spreading the message of Somaliland to every area of the world. As already known, we have limited resources, so therefore we use external agencies to get this message across."
The Minister of Finance, Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh, denied claims made in local media outlets regarding contracts offered by the ministry, stating that there is a national contracts agency. Minister Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh continued to discuss the economic progress of Somaliland.
The Minister of Finance, Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh, held a press conference at his office in the Ministry of Finance in the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa, to strongly deny claims in the local media regarding contracts and budget reports. Minister Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh said on this subject that each ministry has its own budget and the Ministry of Finance controls how these ministries use their budget. Likewise, the Ministry of Finance has its own budget. So when the ministry requests funds for a budget, we release the budgets, which thereafter is outside the Ministry of Finance's control. The issue was regarding transportation purchased by the ministry, and on this subject the Minister of Finance continued, "Regarding the issue of contracts from the Ministry of Finance or transportation bought by the ministry, or contracts where public funds have been misappropriated, if transportation was bought, it would benefit the ministry. If the situation is one where these contracts did not take the appropriate channels, where the National Contract Agency did not verify or approve these contracts, then this situation will involve another entity. These claims are a lie." Minister Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh continued to discuss budgetary increases for 2013 and that the Somaliland government is expecting to further increase the national budget once again. He said, "The plans for 2013 will increase the budget even further and greater than the previous year. We hope this increase will be by another $20 million and that the revenue of the Somaliland government will increase even further." Minister Abdulaziz Mohammed Samaleh concluded by requesting the Somaliland media be more investigative and accurate in reports regarding claims that they make in the media, to not defame or avoid slanderous accusations that negatively impact national spirit.
An academic competition was held in the Ministry of Education between two local schools that had the Director General of the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, Mohammed Hassan Ibrahim, present. Meanwhile, the contesting schools presented the Minister of Education, Samsam Abdi Aden, with a certificate of achievement for her development in the education sector.
This academic competition was contested between Abdurrahman Gadiyere and Dolode Lower Schools and took place in the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies in the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa. The Director General of the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, Mohammed Hassan Ibrahim, was present for this academic competition, which then became a debate, and pointed out the relevance of this academic debate and the success of this competition could not be achieved without the regional coordinator for the Marodi-Cheh region, Mohammed Ma'alin, as well as the two competing schools. The competing schools concluded the event by presenting a certificate of achievement to the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, Samsam Abdi Adan, for a commitment to the development of the education sector in Somaliland.
You're watching Somaliland National Television News English, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news programme. And now for our international news. North Korea is at battle-ready status, ignoring international calls for calm, and announced it is entering what it says is a state of war with South Korea.
This escalation in rhetoric follows similar tough talking against the US, in which it said it was readying rockets to attack US bases in the Pacific Ocean. Analysts claim the threat against the South has to be seen in context, as both sides have technically been at war since 1953, when the Korean conflict ended in armistice and not a peace treaty. Tensions have been high since North Korea carried out its third nuclear test in February. The subsequent sanctions angered Pyongyang, which recently cut a military hotline with the South. The last direct tensions have been high since North Korea carried out its third nuclear test in February. The subsequent actions angered Pyongyang, which recently cut a military hotline with the South, the last direct official link between the two nations.
Syria rebels claim to have taken control of the key city of Dal in Dara province in the south of the country. Unverified amateur video is said to show fighting there with rebel fighters in the city streets.
Syrian rebels claim to have taken control of key city Dale in the Dara province in the south of the country. Unverified amateur video is said to have shown fighting there with rebel fighters in the city streets. Fighting was also reported in the northern city of Aleppo, along with clashes on the outskirts of Damascus. Rebels have captured and held large parts of northern and eastern Syria, but have not been able to establish a solid foothold in the south. Dale is around 15 kilometers from the Jordanian border and is on a strategic highway connecting it to the capital Damascus. News of rebel gains came as Turkish authorities said they had seized thousands of guns in a warehouse near the Syrian border. The firearms included more than 5,000 shotguns and rifles and 10,000 cartridges, which were discovered during a raid in a village on the edge of the Turkish border. The owner of the warehouse was reported to have been arrested. Turkey supports the uprising against President al-Assad, but has ruled out arming rebels, fearing it could be drawn into a destabilizing regional conflict.
There was high tension between Palestinian protesters and Israeli troops in the West Bank on the eve of Land Day.
Near the southern West Bank city of Hebron, there were clashes between Palestinians and Israeli troops. Land Day is when the Palestinians marked a day in 1976 when, during protests over Israeli confiscation of Arab lands in Galilee, 6 Arab Israelis were killed in confrontations and hundreds wounded and arrested. The demonstrators said the initial peaceful march turned into scuffles when Israeli soldiers blocked their access to 5 villages near Hebron, which are at risk of being cut off from the rest of the West Bank if planned Israeli settlement and wall building goes ahead.
That's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.